You were especially amused and excited with the sort of public reaction that were coming from Punjab.
It felt like a lot of love, yeah.
Everyone's talking about Mr. Bachchan. You have been very excited about it as well.
Thank the film and thank me for, being able to see Mr. Bachchan like that again.
Prabhas fans are, I think, jubilant.
Whatever he's done, like before or after Bahubali, I think some of them are hits and misses for sure, but
His bantering with the Rajamouli sir, 5 years and 10 years.
that was like a very last minute improvisation on set, but it felt like just too good to not put in there.
Obviously, Vijay Deverakonda and Rajamouli sir, RGV, Dulquer Salman.
As an audience, I think I enjoy it in a film where I suddenly have a surprise.
How do you look at the appreciation for Deepika?
What she pulled off, especially in this part, was very special. Yeah.
The excitement for sequel will be maybe as big or maybe bigger as Bahubali 2.
We're just happy that people have accepted this world, so now part 2 will in that sense be easier. Hi, this is Nag Ashwin and you're watching Connect Cine with Faridoon.
Nag, welcome on Connect Cine. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Faridoon. Hi.
My first question to you will be, with the sort of excitement that you have generated, interesting part is that it's not merely mother, father, and kids who are going. It's like, I think rarely it happens that senior citizens are interested and they're going in big numbers as far as this film is concerned. Is that a heartening part for you?
It is definitely, and I think for me also, it's the kids. Whenever I meet or see kids at the theater, or even I hear stories of kids trying to drag their parents to watch the film because they've seen the animated show or they want to see Budgie or something. I find that very heartening. Yeah,
I think any film, it becomes even bigger if it starts gaining momentum once the movie releases. Because when the promos came out and people were not really able to understand what exactly is the film all about in totality, but with the first show and the way it just boomed, what was your first reaction when you started receiving the reports on the first day?
I think we were extremely relieved, I think, and we were quite happy because it's something that's been going on for almost 4 years in our lives. So for us, we've been living with it day in and day out. Like, each shot in the film, especially the VFX ones, we've probably seen hundreds of times. And so for us, for the world to see it all together in one piece and like it and react to it the way that they were, it just felt very satisfying, basically. Yeah.
Right. I was watching one of your interviews. You said that you were especially amused and excited with the sort of public reactions that were coming from Punjab.
Punjab, yeah, definitely. I mean, I just watched one of those, the interviews as you come out of the theater kind of thing. I saw a couple of those, and it felt like a lot of love. Yeah.
Right. So, in South India, when you guys are making films and you guys have a different approach, but when it comes to Bollywood, the way the entire hoopla becomes is something else. Was it amusing for you in terms of the way things tend to happen, especially in the North and Bollywood?
I mean, it's not very different because, like, in this, as you know, the South is as animated and as excited as any other part of the country. So, for me, actually, it's new to see reactions for my films in the North because none of my works ever released theatrically in the North. So it was great to see people reacting so enthusiastically, especially for the second half and the climax of the film. And like it's great to see like audience in Punjab go like, this is the best movie they've seen or something like that. Maybe it's very dramatic and everything, but it just made me felt good. Yeah.
Right. Post pandemic, I think the cinema watching experience is becoming increasingly very volatile. Like 2023 has been huge for the film industry, but this year I think the way Kalki has given like a breath of fresh air, like a relief factor for the entire film industry is absolutely massive. Um, Interestingly, Salar, for example, it did not have that big a run in the Hindi belt, but Kalki is having that as well. Um, how as a cinema watcher, do you find it amusing with the way with the rapid sort of onslaught, the way the movie watching experience is changing, especially for cinema halls?
I think, yeah, it's definitely changed a lot because now people are not coming out unless they're really sure about it or they're really excited about it. Uh,
Mm.
but it's not only. I was just thinking back, and I thought like even a movie like 12th Fail managed to generate a lot of interest in the theater crowd. Like a lot of people went out to watch it, and
Mm.
they are films that are not essentially the so-called big star or event films, but they just have a good word of mouth, and people still turn up to the theaters. So I think people are ready to come to theaters, but they're just being a lot more selective.
Everyone is talking about Mr. Bachchan. You have been very excited about as well. When I watched the films, one thing that came to my mind, there was this movie of his teen that came back a few years back, and there was a press conference, informal press conference, no cameras were there, and Vishal Dadlani was speaking to Mr. Bachchan, and after that, the journalist spoke to him. One journalist asked him that what is your most satisfying work as an actor, and he said none of them. So the journalist said that you tend to be very humble. He said the day I become satisfied, that will be the death of me as a creative person. When I saw this film, that thought came to my mind once again, that this man is insatiable, and maybe I think that is why he has that level of hunger, that he does what he does at this age, to do what he has done. It's like you have VFX as far as your action is concerned, but intensity in the face and the physicality has to be there.
Yeah. No two ways about it. He's just something else for sure.
And what is the best compliment that you've received for Mr. Bachchan?
I mean, more than compliments, I think it was just so many people. Like even yesterday, we were doing a few interviews, and almost all of them first thank the film and thank me for being able to see Mr. Bachchan like that again. Because I think most people were sort of maybe tired of seeing or bored of seeing the roles where he wasn't fully himself for like 100%.
Right. Prabhas fans are, I think, jubilant. They are super excited with the way things are as far as he is concerned. How do you look at the mega stardom that he has, and the habit that he has of being part of these big spectacles and pulling them off?
I mean, I think he really loves to try something new, and he also comes under that category of actors who really does not want to repeat themselves. So sometimes, so like whatever he's done, like before or after Bahubali, I think some of them are hits and misses for sure, but each time he did believe in something new, and that's probably the same thing he did with us. And I'm glad we could deliver his trust.
Right, and his bantering with the Rajamouli sir, 5 years and 10 years, people are freaking out on that in theaters.
Yeah, that was like a very last minute improvisation on set, but it felt like just too good to not put in there.
Right, and um, there are various shades to his character. Like there's an element of being frivolous. There's an element of say humorous at the same time. Gray shades as well, and then obviously there are shades of grandeur as well. Do you like characters which have various shades, and do you think that they are more appealing to the audience?
Um, I I don't know. I just think maybe it could be relatable more if a character is more gray. Maybe it makes them more real because this true black and white, this white upright just hero is great to look at, but maybe they're not as relatable as a gray person.
Okay,
But
and
I mean, I'm pretty happy that people have accepted him, and even like Prabhas has accepted to do that, and he enjoyed doing, uh, a role that is essentially just very clearly gray, and it's not like a typical hero role. Yeah.
And the performances, I think, all across they're being appreciated. Obviously, Kamal Hassan's two scenes, but I think he's absolutely spectacular, and I think people are looking forward to the sequel. Shashwata, I think, is outstanding. Disha in a small role. Uh, Obviously, Vijay Deverakonda and Rajamouli sir, RGB, Dulquer Salman. When you keep a secret as far as like big names in cameos, does that help as a filmmaker and as a film?
As an audience, I think I enjoy it in a film where I suddenly have a surprise, a character that I didn't actor that I didn't expect in a certain role. So I think we were going with that, and most of the people in this were people that we had worked with before, and it was just a very comfortable sort of thing to have them come back and play this role for us.
Right. Everyone is talking about the VFX of the film, and apart from the you may be having the best of VFX, but imagining a certain world that the VFX builds up, I think that's something which is even more creditable. Um, when you were just creating this world, was there any reference point for you that this is something that maybe I want to better this, or because it's a completely new world. It can be it has the potential of standing as far as the world is concerned, because I'm sure that your references may have been Avengers or like say all those wonderful films that come out from the West.
It I mean, definitely subconsciously, because we're exposed to so many of these things, and
Mm,
but we tried our best to look at everything, every design or every concept that we made from a very Indian point of view or from an Indian lens, and bring in like what a dystopian or a sci-fi world would look like in India, or in the future India. So yeah, so that was our attempt, and I think our production designer, our concept artist, everyone deserves like all the credit for the hours and days and months of work they put into this to make it happen.
right. Deepika is getting great response for the film, and uh, the way people are responding to her, and it's a very unique character in itself. How do you look at the appreciation for Deepika?
I think she's a phenomenal actress. I think everyone knows it, and especially in a role like this, which where she's not as proactive, or is not doing so much, and so much of the acting or the performance of the character has to come in reactions, or come in reacting to the situation that she is in, rather than actually proactively taking part in the process of the story. I think that I felt is harder, and still she comes away with that grace and poise, and and she really elevated the character. So I think what she pulled off, especially in this part, uh, was very special. Yeah.
Right. So when the movie ends, and obviously on the sequel note, the first thought that came to my mind was that the excitement for sequel will be maybe as big or maybe bigger as Bahubali 2, because Bahubali 2, the questions which were there, that Katappa and all those, I think, questions which were there, a similar sort of I think narrative has started with Kalki as well. And interestingly, Bahubali won the Hindi collections, and the Bahubali 2 Hindi collections. There was like a jump of almost 3-4 times of the first one, and people like anticipating for Kalki 2 to have similar sort of collection as well. So how do you look at these humongous expectations from the sequel?
I think it's still too early. I think in for us, because the film just released, so we're still living in this part one release, and just soaking it in yet. Um, but yeah, I think we're just happy that people have accepted this world. So now part two will, in that sense, be easier, because they've already agreed and accepted and invested in this world. So you can start straight with the story in part two.
And as a filmmaker, how do you keep yourself insulated from all the suggestions that this should be there in part two, and this can be there in part two, and this is what we're expecting? How do you keep yourself insulated from these massive sort of expectations?
I like to keep myself open to everything.
Mm.
We've already written the script of the film. We have the story, so that already exists. But if there is some idea or something that would trigger something else off, but that's what I think all writers and directors are always keeping a ear out, like on set, during shoot, in the edit, always trying to make something better. So yeah.